So if you would see that this costume, that we have here right now, hand, it was basically previously an empty sort of hand, and now I have added a rectangle on top of it. This rectangle has been added so that it gives a very perfect base to this hand, where the ball can actually touch and can go back in the air. That is what we have done so far with this hand. Now I'm going to write some code for this ball so that whenever this ball touches this hand, it goes back in the air. So in order to make it do that, what we are doing is just tell this ball that it needs to go back in the air whenever it touches the hand. So we are going to go to these events and pick up this when flag clicked here. So we would be sure that whenever we press this flag button, this hand and this ball are going to coordinate in a way that this ball, whenever touches this hand or this green part of the hand, it is going to bounce back and go back in the air. So for that, what we have here is this forever loop. This forever loop will help us to always keep on checking if the ball needs to bounce back. So we are going to go to this control loop once again, pick up this if block. This if block is very useful for us because that is mostly helping us to do actions after taking a decision. So this if block is going to check if the ball has touched the hand. So I will use sensing and use this touching mouse pointer block and put it inside this diamond shape. Now this if block is going to check if this ball has touched the hand. You can change this object name to hand actually. So now you will see that in this basketball code it has changed to if touching hand. So if this ball touches the hand, we are going to tell this ball to turn 90 degrees in that case. Now you would see that whenever this ball touches this hand, it goes back in the air, right? There is a glitch also. If you do not touch it with the top part of it, it is going to keep rotating inside your hand. Something like that. Let me show you once. See, we did not touch it with the top, so this is happening. So in order to now what happens when this ball touches the red line? We need to identify that now. So we are going to do that again in the basketball code. I will just duplicate this code and put it here. So if this ball touches this opponent line, then we are going to lose this game. So in order to say that we have lost this game, we can do two things. First, we can set up another variable and name it as opponent score so that whenever this ball touches the opponent line, same code like this one is going to be followed. Instead of touching it, we are going to tell it to touch the opponent. So if it touches the opponent, the same code is going to be followed. But the score is going to become opponent score and that value is going to increase. So if the ball touches the net, what happens is you change score by 1, wait for 1 second, set size to 80, point in direction 90, and go to this place and start with that. So this is what is going to happen if you press the. You can now see the score is increasing for the land object as well. It is increasing for the opponent object as well. So if it touches the opponent, the score increases for the opponent. See, it became 6. Now it would become 7, 8, something like that. So everything is happening fine actually. All we need to do is just get us a criteria, what happens, how we win this game or how we lose this game. Let's say that I put this code here as well instead of this flag. And now I'm going to tell my characters to start the scores with 0 every time we press the flag button. So I'm going to tell it to set the variable opponent score to 0 when I press the flag button. And similarly, set the value of score variable also to 0 whenever I press the flag button. So this game is kind of like working perfectly fine at the moment. All you now need to do is,
Excuse me, sir.
yes,
Why did you have take the many puzzles, many
puzzles,
blocks,
like
too many blocks?
because this game is kind of having many conditions that we need to follow. So that is why
Okay,
we have many blocks.
okay. So do we have to do this after you do?
Obviously, you have to complete this after I'm done.
Okay.
What you can do is make the thing simpler for you. Just to make the thing simpler for you. I'm going
Okay,
to put
sir.
this under one more flag. So all these codes are like the same. If you put them all together, they would work the same way. If you put them all at different places, they are going to work the same way. I can even put this code here, this if block here, and it would work the same way. See, it still makes the ball bounce back when it touches the hand. So it doesn't impact the overall working of your game. It doesn't impact the overall working of your game. Similarly, I can absolutely remove this flag as well and tell the score to be set to these values with this flag. It doesn't matter. You can use different flags, you can use same flags. They all work the same way. Then you have this code for the hand, so hand is working perfectly fine. Now let's say that we define a criteria, how do we win this game and how do we lose this game. So we are going to check that how do we lose this game. Let's say we are going to check forever one thing, that is equals to. If, let's say, where is your variable? If the opponent score is equal to 5, we should lose the game. We can't let the opponent score more than 5 points. If the opponent scores 5 points, we are going to lose the game. Let's add a backdrop. Add one that looks nice. Let's add this backdrop here and write. Go to the backdrops option, select the text and write, you lost the game. Press flag and restart.
Sir, why did you change the background?
I will let you know why did I do that. I definitely would let you know. No issues in that. Let's make it a bit better, that's it. So this backdrop is going to appear when you lose this game. Okay. So this backdrop is going to appear when you would lose this game. So we need to program that actually. We are going to go to the backdrops and write a code here. And that code would be followed by a flag. So if, let's say, when flag is clicked, we are going to ask our backdrop to be this one. Whenever you press the flag button, you would be at this backdrop. And now we have to put the conditions here. Two conditions, both in forever and both used with if. I might have used this condition somewhere. I'm going to delete it here and use it here for the backdrop. I'm coding this winning and losing situation in the backdrop code because it would be easier for you to understand it from this place, because that would not have a lot of code here. So let's say, how do you win this game or how do you lose this game? First, how do we lose this game? If the score that we are trying to find becomes 5, if the opponent score or 5 times the ball has touched this red line, we would say that we have lost this game. So we will go to send variables and pick up opponent score and put it here. If opponent score is equal to 5, I'm going to go to looks and I'm going to tell it to switch to backdrops, start, go to control, and tell it to stop everything. Go to looks. That's it. So now, if you lose this game, you are going to switch to backdrop stars. Again, let's have another backdrop in case we win this game. So if we win this game, I would want the backdrop to be, let's say, this one, which is quite bright and all. So if we win this game, I am going to go to its backdrops, paint over here, and write, you have won. Press flag to start again. So this is it. I will make this code also, this text also look a little bigger like that. And change its color to a more, you can say, a variable color, right? And I'm just going to write one thing in every code. In every object, in every sprites code, I'm going to use one variable. And that is when backdrop switches to stars, control, go to its looks and hide it. Similarly, duplicate that and change the backdrop to slopes, also hide it, and show your character whenever you press the flag button. The basketball again, use the same events when backdrop switches to stars. You are going to hide your ball, hide every character that you have. And when you switch to slopes, you are going to hide everything again. Just 5 minutes. Again for this net, as you see that we haven't used any code here, so we are going to first put a flag event and ask your characters to be at this place whenever you start the game. Go for the opponent also and do the same. Ask for a flag event and tell your character to be at this place whenever you press the flag button, and that would be there. Next is the next event, that is when the backdrop switches to, let's say, stars, and do the same thing, that you hide your object and make sure to show your object when you press the flag button. Similarly, just duplicate this code here and change the stars backdrop into slopes backdrop. Similarly, we would have to use the same code here. So go to events, pick up that when backdrop switches to code, bring it here, change it to stars, and ask your character to hide when this backdrop appears and show again when you press the flag button. And similarly, just duplicate that and change the backdrop here to slopes. So currently you have got a code for everything. All you need is just make your character show on screen like that, and you're done. So this is like the whole code for this game that you can start playing now. So you can see that everything is working perfectly fine. If you score 5 points or if you lose 5 points, you are going to win or lose this game. If you score 5 points, you are going to win this game. And if you lose 5 points, you are going to lose this game. It's getting very difficult to score 5 points actually. So it's the fourth point that the opponent has scored, and it's the fifth point. And you see that you have lost. And now when you start it, everything is there again. So this is the code of the game that you need to work on. I will share its recording with you so that you can start practicing it. And if there is anything that you guys want to ask right now, you can ask. Thank you so much for joining, all of you. But is there any question that you guys want to ask? You can ask now.